Hey all, so today's a little bit of a different video. I just got back from Jiu Jitsu class. I literally haven't even stretched or eaten after, so my body's exhausted. My body wants calories, my body hurts. I hurt myself in class. The girl who I was rolling with, her ankle got caught in my calf, so my calf is like super sore, and it's the type of sore that stretching doesn't fix because it hurts, man. Just full transparency, I'm gonna curse in this video, and I'm gonna bleep out the curse words because I try to keep this channel clean, but I am going to curse because I think it's important. I got beaten in this class, and I do every single time, but today was different. I've been telling myself lately that the reason why people constantly keep beating me is because I'm getting better, so people feel like they could put more pressure on me. But then there's this other competing force in my mind that's saying, even though it feels like people are being hard on you right now, Nicole, like they're still being so easy on you. Every once in a while, I get a leg free from them, or I pull their hand off. And 99% of the time, even when that happens, they beat me. I convince myself that even in those moments, they are still going easy on me, that the only reason I got that hand free is because they let me. Every single time. So in my eyes, even though I've been working really hard, I've never gotten one single victory, one single submission, as we say in Jiu Jitsu. And today, let me tell you, I got my handed to me. Now, every single class is like that. A lot of times when my cab driver picks me up from class, they say, "Hey Nicole, how was your class?" You know, I know my cab drivers really well at this point because I've been taking this cab for so long. I've been in this town for a while. So a lot of them know me enough to know how much jiu-jitsu means to me. And they're like, "Hey Nicole, how was your class?" And my response is always, "Well, I got my handed to me today. What else is new? Got my handed to me today." Just like every single other day. And the thing is, when I'm in class, when it's happening, when I'm pinned down on the floor, when I'm being choked, I'm smiling because I'm seeing the person that I'm going against, especially if they're new like me. I see them finally experiencing success at what they're doing, and I cheer them on. Today, there was this girl who was in a submissive position under me, and I was supposed to be in a position where I had an easier time of getting her, but she pinned me down twice. And each time I was like, "Oh my gosh, girl, like amazing job." Meanwhile, I'm like struggling to breathe. And then we reset, we start another match, and I'm like, do it again. And she looks me in the eye and she's like, "I'm supposed to not be able to let you do this." And I'm trying to find this weird balance between cheering on the people around me and being successful myself. This is not to say that I wasn't trying. Like, I was giving my everything and she still managed to pin me down. That's just because she's better than me, and that's okay. She's really sweet. And the thing though is that sometimes when we lose, we take it personally. Switching from karate, which I did for a year, to jiu-jitsu, which I'm new at, has been incredibly humbling. Instantly, I've noticed that I have to work a lot harder in jiu-jitsu to get any sort of accomplishment. I don't know about other schools of jiu-jitsu and other schools of karate. I'm not speaking on the forms of martial arts as a whole. I'm speaking on the specific schools that I trained in. I do not believe that the karate school that I trained in, or at least the specific teacher that I had, was very efficient at training me. I still learned a lot, but I stepped into a jiu-jitsu class and I realized how little I knew, how much more I had to learn. But I also have that experience of a year previously of plugging away at a new skill that I knew nothing about before. So I expected to lose over and over. I expected to be afraid. I expected to be put into a multitude of settings where I was up against someone who knew much more about defending themselves than I did, and I would still have to fight them and figure out what the heck I was doing, and then ultimately lose, but then learn something from it. But man, self-defense is such delayed gratification, and this jiu-jitsu academy that I started going to is a completely different level. And today, I got my ass handed to me in a way that I never have before. I was around people who were better than me, and they were so sweet. Like, this has nothing to do with them. I'm surrounded by such wonderful people. It's just, it wasn't even about winning. It was just the fact that I couldn't protect myself in that situation. And if this was real life, I wouldn't have succeeded. And then we get all existential about it. Like, oh my gosh, what if something bad does happen and I can't do anything? And I'm giving everything I can in these classes, and I still can't save the world with my bare hands. I'm getting better at watching and comprehending what is happening and determining what positions to be in are good and bad. But I was also seeing all these very talented people who are stronger than me, heavier than me, better at comparing moves than me, and thinking, I couldn't take a single person in this room. And I just want you to know, if you have not experienced any sort of world of self-defense, this video is not here to intimidate you. Even if what I'm saying to you right now sounds like a foreign language, I want you to understand that I am feeling that way too. I'm looking at people who are leaps and bounds above where I am, and I wonder if I will ever be there, and I don't know, but I'm still fighting. So on the ride home, my cab driver is telling me, Nicole, I grew up in a family of men. My cab driver's a guy. I grew up in a family of men who were so angry, and they just let that anger get the best of them. If they did not win something, they were so angry they let it define them. And as a child, it hurt to watch. It scarred me as a human, but I vowed to myself that I would never be that man. Now, I'm clearly a woman, but I don't think this is about man or woman. I think the world needs all sorts of people in this fight. Stand your ground. God, please, 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 please stand your ground no matter how many times you get your ass handed to you. Learn from your mistakes. Today, I got hurt. I'll probably find a bunch of fresh bruises on myself tomorrow. Life update for y'all while I'm editing this week's video. Not only am I covered in bruises, but I'm so covered in bruises that 2 people this week have actually asked me if I had anemia because they were that concerned. I don't have anemia, just covered in bruises. I'm achy, I'm sore, but I'm getting stronger. And next time, I will know better. Will I ever be a black belt in Jiu Jitsu? I really don't know. And it scares me to think that I might not be. But I don't go there every day to do that. I don't go there every day for the title. I'm new. I lose every time I fight. I'm held on the ground, and I'm smiling looking up at the person above me and telling them, good job, do it again. That is humility. And sometimes when I cheer somebody on who's uncertain like that, who is above my level, they say, no, like, Nicole, I'm really not that good. And I get it, like, maybe in the grand scheme of things, they're no expert, but to me, they are my God, because I don't know what I'm doing compared to them, and I can learn from them, and I can show them my gratitude, and maybe I can make an ally, maybe I can make a friend. And what an accomplishment that is to have one extra person on my team who can beat the shit out of this stranger who tries to attack me. Here's another thing. I was unsure about whether or not I was going to tell this story. I knew that I was probably going to tell this on YouTube one of these days, but I was kind of just waiting for the right moment. I feel like this is the right moment. And I seriously think I'm probably going to tell this on YouTube a million times because it is just the most amazing example of ego gone wrong. So I was dating this guy about like 7 months ago. One of the hardest working people I've encountered. He was an accomplished jiu-jitsu fighter, and he had a wrestling background. He was halfway through his 20s. He hadn't done wrestling for years since he was in high school, so that's about like 7 years or something. And he decides to head back to his hometown for the weekend to do a charity wrestling tournament. A couple days later, I shoot him a text and I ask him how it went. He tells me that not only did he get his ass handed to him, but he was so angry at the 18-year-olds who he lost to that he started a fight with them in front of his childhood wrestling coach. I tell so many people this story because I think it is a cautionary tale. This young man had boundless potential, but when he lost, he fought some children. Back then I hadn't done jiu-jitsu before, and I viewed the situation a little differently. I really didn't fully understand why he would do that. It frustrated me, it annoyed me. I really questioned whether I should stay with this person. And I don't want to demonize him either. He wasn't a bad guy. And you know what? Now that I do jiu-jitsu, especially on days like this, when I get handed to me over and over and over again, I empathize with him. Not that I think his actions were appropriate, because I don't. I think that he did something very wrong. What he did actually qualifies as assault. He assaulted another individual because it was out of the bounds of the actual wrestling match. It was inappropriate and kind of illegal. Not even kind of, but fully, very much illegal. He should not have done that. But I understand. It's hard to lose. It's hard to drop your ego. But don't be someone like him. Don't be someone like him. Plug away. Plug away at what you're doing. Every single time you do it, put your best foot forward and drop your ego when there's somebody in the room that's better than you. What a privilege it is to be in a room full of experts and you're the one novice. Oh my gosh, you have boundless, limitless knowledge at your fingertips. You need to get on your hands and knees and bow at their feet and ask them, what do I have to learn from you? And to be honest, if they are the right teacher, they will reach their hand out at you and they will say, take my hand. We are both equal. Come on my level. You know, don't ever think that you're scum because you're not. You're not scum just because you're not as good as me. But really, truly, you know what I mean? Like, you need to think, what can I learn from these people? Every time that I lose, every time that I fail, my thought is, what did that teach me? What did that teach me? Today, the skill that I'm learning is how to survey my anger from an outside perspective and understand myself. I'm choosing peace even when it's hard. Now, if you will excuse me, I gotta go stretch.